So I'm here to teach you about gardening. If you're new here, I welcome you. But I just had lunch and I thought, okay, I need to start teaching you guys about growing food. Um, and the best way to do it is going live. Okay. I know everyone when you eat, you sometimes, at least for me, I think about where did this food come from. As a gardener, I know I grow food, I save food, and I use some of that food throughout the year to eat, but I also still go to the grocery store to buy food. But at least I know that I'm growing one thing that I could eat from, and also I understand what the gardeners, the farmers out there are going through to get those foods into grocery stores for us to use it and sometimes just waste it. And I do not want anybody wasting food. So if you learn the skill of growing food, you will learn not to waste food because you will understand how much effort, how much joy you put into it and you get from it, that you will not waste it in growing food. So today I want to go through all the methods of growing food. So you could grow food no matter where you live, okay? No matter how much time you have, you can grow food. And I want to teach you the methods because a lot of people, I go out promoting food out there, and a lot of people are like, oh, I do not have a space, or I live in an apartment. Some, they have the yard, but they don't know what to do, where to start, what to grow. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, this limitation because people see on social media there's beautiful yards, there's so many beautiful gardens out there, and believe that it has to be perfect in order for them to grow food. You do not have to start perfectly. And also, you do not have to grow food outdoors, or you don't have to do it the way you see nice and lined up outdoors and pictures and all of that. No, you could grow food no matter where you are. You could grow food in an apartment. You could grow food in the middle of nowhere, as long as you have the intention of growing food. So today I want to share with you all the different ways of growing food so that you have no limitation of growing food this year. My job as a food garden educator is to educate you in all areas and how to grow food. And I'm so excited to do that this year because I want a lot of people growing food. It doesn't matter, you're a busy person, you could still grow food. I'm a busy mom and I grow food. So let's start here. I had lunch today. I had a nice bowl of salad and quinoa with some soy tofu and also some bab ganoush. So that's another question that people always like, I don't know what to grow. I don't know what to grow. Start with what you eat. You could start with your lunch. You could start with your breakfast and list out the food that you had and list out the ingredients that were used to make them if you know them. Or list out the ingredients that you love eating. So if you love eating tomato, make sure to try to learn how to grow tomatoes. Okay? But let's start here. I want to make sure that you understand what kind of method you could grow no matter where you live. And let's think about food itself. So food gardening, let me get good. Welcome to my class. You're gonna learn here. This is classes in session. So first, food, right? When we think about food, growing food, where do we think? So I'm gonna put food garden methods here because there's multiple methods and I'm sure you're going to be surprised. When you think about food, what method do you think? What do you see and how do you see people are growing food? You can put in the comments. I would love to see that. What type of method that you know people grow food in? Let me see if I could. Yeah, comment. Just put a comment in the chat. Like, what kind of method do you see that you normally know is grown food? and we'll go through it. So the one method one, right, is we see farmers, right? We've seen pictures, videos all over the world. People grow in ground, right? So in ground is the number one way of growing food. But if you don't have a yard, right? Most of us don't have a yard. Around the world, a lot of people don't have land to grow food. So that doesn't mean that you cannot grow food. This is just one method, okay? And I'll say majority of our food that you see in the grocery store come from this method, in ground, okay? So in ground is a great way. Traditionally, farmers, gardeners all around the world, that's how they grow food. There's other methods. That's a good thing. You're going to learn there's other methods. Two, raised beds, right? So raised bed gardening are like containers that are made out of metal or wood beds. Okay, it's 4x4 square boxes. You see them in so many videos over there, and if you go on my page, you're gonna see I use raised beds. They're very nice to grow in. You fill it up with soil. So the raised beds are boxes. The bottom is empty. There's nothing in the bottom. It's open. You put it down on the ground. Okay, so this is if you have a yard. If you have a little bit of yard, you could do this. A little bit of space. You could do one raised bed or you could do multiple raised beds. It's one way of growing food. Okay, so you're gonna be like, okay, Sophia, I do not have a yard. What's other? I don't have a big space. What is another method of growing food? I got you. Container. All right. So container gardening. You might see terracotta pots, plastic pots out there. There's so many different pots and containers out there that you could grow food. All right. So if you have a little, like a square foot, 1 or 2 square foot, little space, you can grow food outside. This is outdoor growing. Okay. So this is outdoors. So for outdoors, you could do in ground if you have the land. You could do the raised beds, okay? And you could do containers. But with containers, if you have a container, you are in luck. If you want to do container, you could do it in 2 different locations. Okay, so you could do it outdoors. You could do it indoors. So inside your house, your space, your apartment, wherever you live, you could have one pot and growing one thing that you could eat from. All right. So if you start from here, that just using a different method, you have expanded the way that you grow food. All right. So you could do it outdoors or indoors. Another method is grow bags. So grow bags is similar to container, but is a fabric. It's a method because it's a different way of growing food. And also you could do it these ways. The location is outdoors. You can also grow it indoors if you want. Okay. But with grow bags, guess what? You could wash the bags after a season and reuse it over and over and over again till, it's all messed up. So that's why grow bags is another good way of growing food. All right, so you may say, okay, I do not have outdoor space. I do not have any land. I can't grow outside. Another location to grow is indoors, right? So yes, the container grow bags, you could move them indoors. So the method of growing indoors is you could do hydroponics. So hydroponic is growing in water. So they sell units out there that you could grow in water. So there is towers, there is tabletop, countertop units that you could grow in. You could also do them in jars. So you could grow hydroponically. Okay. You could grow so many different type of foods hydroponically. You could grow lettuce. You could grow kale. So leafy greens, you could grow them in the hydroponic. Another thing that you could grow in hydroponics is herbs. If you like herbs, you could grow them hydroponically. Okay, so those are the two. You could also grow fruiting plants like tomatoes, flowers. You could all grow them here. There are products out there. I do have an Amazon storefront, so if you go there and see, and I have a group of hydroponics, you can get whatever hydroponic you want and then use it to grow. Another method of growing food here, number 6, is microgreens. Do you know what microgreens are? Microgreens are growing in a tray, and microgreens are young plants. So young plants that you could eat. And this could grow anywhere in a short time. Okay, in a short period of time, you could have this. And also you could grow if it because it's indoors, you could grow it 365 days a year. You do not have to stop gardening because the weather is bad. Okay, you could do it all year round and grow some of your food. All right, so microgreens is a great place for new beginners. Is a habit that you pick up and then you keep on growing. It's really cool. And then there is more methods. Okay, this is the last method that I'll share with you today. It's sprouts. So growing sprouts is when you introduce water to a seed and then you see that little spike that comes out, that little whiteness, and then it kind of tail out, starting to become a leaf. Before that leaf open, that's sprouts. Okay, so sprouts is the beginning of seed's life, and when you consume it, because it's so powerful, so nutritious, you get a lot of benefits from it. Okay, so sprouts are the number one space that I love new beginners to start growing food, because you could do this all year round. All you don't need much. You probably right now in your home you have a jar and you could start sprouts today. You have a sieve to drain out the water from the seeds. All right. And then the next thing that you need is air. We have air. Air is free. It's natural. So you'll be growing sprouts before you know it. So okay, so we have all these different methods, right? We have method 1, growing in the ground. We have method 2, raised beds. Method 3, containers. We have method 4, grow bags. Then we have hydroponics. Then we have microgreens and sprouts. These you could do them indoors 365 days a year. These are outdoors depending on where you live, the temperature, and all of that. Right now, for me, I live in Massachusetts, so there is snow on the ground. It's frozen. Soil is not workable, so I cannot garden outside. I do have a garden. There are things that are still in the garden that I could harvest from, but they're frozen and they're still edible. So I have I'm looking right now outside my window here. I have sage. I did not harvest all the sage. There's a lot of sage on there, but if I wanted to have some sage tea, I could run outside and get some sage to use for tea. So right now, because of weather, I cannot start planting anything. But anything that stayed over, extended from the previous season, you could still have it in the garden out there. So right now is not a great time for you to go outside if you're in a place that it's cold to start gardening. Okay. Um, I do garden in raised beds. I also garden in containers. So I had containers outside, and some of them I brought them indoors. So container gardening, if you're new to gardening, container gardening is a great place to start because you can move it around. If you're concerned about, light, if you're concerned about water, all of that, you have a way of moving this closer to those resources. So container is a great place to start. You can also start with grow bags. If you're just trying to fill this out and you don't want to invest in buying pots yet, you could get grow bags. They're reusable or disposable as well. So you could do that both indoors and outdoors. But today, if you're anywhere that it's cold or if you're anywhere that you don't have land space or anything, I encourage you to look into hydroponics, microgreens, or sprouts. Okay? And one thing that I am doing in my page here is educating you to grow food. And I do practice all these methods, all of them. I do them I do them all through the year. I practice the hydroponic indoors, the microgreens and the sprouts. I'm always educating on this. And then these outdoors when the temperatures are right, when the season is good for me to start doing, and then I go outside to grow outside. Okay, so these are all the methods of growing food that you can learn within a year. And I am putting together a community, online community education space where I will teach you this and more skills every week to learn how to grow your own food, no matter where you live. So if you're saying I don't have a backyard, we are going to be over here. You're going to be indoors growing, and I'll teach you all anything that you could grow indoors, and we'll do them together. If you're like, okay, I have a yard, but I don't know where to start, we will talk about these methods: the in-ground, raised beds, containers, and grow bags. And I'll teach you all the things that you need and guide you on growing your own food. Another question that I always get when I'm outside in farmers market promoting growing food is some people are like, I don't know what to grow. Let's talk about what to grow in your garden. Okay, so I'm gonna erase this. If you want to copy it, I'll give you a few moments. Okay, I'll go over it real quick for people that are just joining right now. So in-ground is the first traditional method of growing food, which you do it outdoors. Then we have raised beds. Okay, we have container gardening where you can do it both outdoors and indoors. We have grow bed growing, and you could do them outdoors or indoors. Okay, so these four are what you do outdoors, okay? And these two you could do in both spaces, locations. Indoors, everybody live inside somewhere, right? Okay, somebody, anywhere you live. If you're indoors, you have a place to lay your head, anywhere that you are in this world, you can do this, all right? You can grow. I know you can. One plant at a time by using one of these methods. So if you're like, okay, I don't have space, I don't have anywhere, you're gonna do these methods. You're gonna do the hydroponic. If you want to try growing with just water and nutrients, if you're like, okay, I don't have time for that, you could do microgreens. It's just a tray. You could use trays at home, and you could use soil to grow in them, and then they grow within, actually I'm going to put here how many days it gets. This will grow within 7 to 21 days. Hydroponics are 21 to 45 days, okay, depending on what you're growing. Sprouts. Sprouts. Can anybody guess how many days you're going to grow sprouts? Anybody want to try and guess? Sprouts are so easy to grow. They grow anywhere between 3 to 7 days. All right, so if you start today growing sprouts, in 3 days you could have something in your plate having for lunch. Okay, or a week from now, you could have lunch with what you grew, right? It's that simple. Container, grow bags, raised beds, and indoors, it all varies depending on the temperature outside, the light the space is getting, the water source that it's getting. So these, depending on also the plant that you are growing, right? You could have food anywhere from 30 days to 120 days. Okay, so growing outdoors take a while. All right, growing your food take a while. So you could start there if that's what you want this coming summer, spring, you could grow there, but it takes a while. Okay, it's a journey. These are very quick. These are your quick wins that you're gonna do indoors, and you'll be able to grow in no time. So I'm gonna clean this, and then we're gonna talk about what to grow, because that's one question that I always get. Some people are confused. I want to grow a garden, but I don't know what to grow. So we're going to talk about that next. All right. I'm going to, if you learned something from here, put in the chat a thumbs up so that I know that people are learning from what we're doing here. All right. And if you enjoy this, let me know. If you learned something that you didn't know before joining here, let me know what method you want to practice and try to grow this year. Okay. All right. Let me clean this up. But yeah, growing food is so simple. I mean, you don't need that much. People have been growing food for centuries. And I know back in the days, at least in America, it wasn't trade school. People were taught to grow food. You know, now we don't have that. It's very scarce. Kids don't know. I mean, it's part of science lessons, but they're just growing one plant, like the bean lesson, and that's about it. You know, so some kids, their first introduction to growing food is either just growing a bean plant. That's it. And that's part of my goal, you know, to get schools start teaching kids the future on growing food. All right, so we're gonna talk about all the lessons, the different methods. Okay, let's talk about what to grow in your food garden. So one, if you're wondering what to grow in your food garden, I will tell you this. You need to start with what you love to eat. Okay, and how do you do that? How do you know what you love to eat? Of course, you ate. You probably just had lunch. Did you enjoy that lunch? All right. You had dinner last night. You had breakfast this morning. Think about the foods that makes you excited to sit down and eat. All right. So you start there. So start with the foods that you love to eat. If you have a family, you're a busy mom, dad, you know, kids. Think about what everybody loves. Everybody have a favorite food, you know. So let's say like today for lunch, I had a bowl, like a harvest bowl, I'll call it. I just put it together. So it was quinoa, and then I had like a salad. Okay, so salad, but in the salad it was a mix of leafy greens. All right, so there was kale, there was lettuce in there, there was Brussels sprouts. There was also radicchio. I think that was it in that salad mix. And then I had tofu. That's soybeans, right? What else did I have? Oh, I had bab ganoush. Bab ganoush. Bab ganoush is made out of eggplant. There is garlic, olive oil, right? Salt and pepper. All right, what else did I have in there? I had guac, a guacamole. So there's avocados, right? I didn't make it, but I know there is lemon in there, right? Garlic, salt, and pepper. All right, and then we have the quinoa here. Quinoa, it was just quinoa. All right, so right now, from just my lunch, this was my lunch today. Just from my lunch right now, look at all the foods that were in there, right? Okay, and some of them, you know, look at them. And some of them actually, I could grow them. I could actually start growing them in my garden. Okay, so if this was your lunch, this will be the next step for you. So right now, by just listing out what you ate, right now you have a planting plan. Just from this, if this is your favorite lunch to eat, right now you have a planting plan. Okay, from your food that you ate. That's it. So this is so simple. Gardening could be so simple, and that's why I'm doing this. I want to make it so simple that anybody could understand and grow their food this year. So I just broke down my lunch, what I ate, and what was in those side dishes that I put together as lunch. All right. So the salad alone, everything over here, I could grow it. We already went over the methods of growing food, and actually all the methods I could grow all these leafy greens. So I could grow the kale, I could grow the lettuce, the Brussels sprouts, and radicchio. I could also grow them as sprouts. They don't have to grow to maturity to enjoy the benefit that it has. Okay, so I could grow these from sprouts. Did you know that? You could grow these from sprouts and get 10 times the benefits. 10 times the benefits of the nutrients that it has when it comes to maturity. So you could grow this in any of the methods that we discussed today. Soybeans, you could grow soybeans. You need to grow a lot of them to make your tofu. All right. But I won't be growing those because I like to focus on the easy stuff. You know, the stuff that will give me quick wins. So I would not be growing soybeans for tofu. I'm okay with purchasing tofu out or buying soybeans in bulk and doing and making it at home. Bab ganoush, I love bab ganoush. It's a Mediterranean side dish that you boil or roast the eggplant, roast it, and then you blend it up with these garlic, and you add your seasonings, and you add olive oil. It's so delicious. Actually, this past summer, I had so much eggplant that I made a huge batch, and then I portioned them out, put them in the freezer, and I have a bag of it. So that's what I'm still eating from my garden. I'm still eating from my garden. I eat from my garden all year round because I do all these stuff during the season and then preserve it and then I use it. So this was straight from my garden, actually. So I will be growing eggplant. I already started some garlic. I do have the video coming out. So make sure you go on my page and subscribe so that you could see those videos when I drop it. Olive oil does not, olive does not grow here. You can have a plant here in Massachusetts, but the chance of you getting an olive tree with olives on it, because this is not the climate for it. All right. So I will stick with going for olive oil. And actually I have one of my good friends have a company that she sell olives, olive oil fresh from Turkey. So I'll be sharing that info with you guys. You can go to my page, you see me always using it. Salt and pepper, we do not have to grow it, right? We could have that. But the unique thing, I'll show you guys, if you go on my page, I'll show you guys how to make some nice herbal salts to add to your food. Guacamole, unfortunately, where I live here in the United States, in Massachusetts, I cannot grow avocado. But when I go back home, my second home, Africa, when I go to Ghana, I do have an avocado tree in my house there, and I love to harvest. And I know around the world, everywhere, a lot of places have avocados growing, and you just pluck it and then use it. So we cannot grow it here in the United States, at least in Massachusetts. So I will not be growing this. Lemon, I do have a lemon plant, but yes, it's not the right perfect temperature for me to get a lot of lemons. So I would not be growing lemon here. Again, garlic. So garlic repeated. So when you do this, you're gonna see also some stuff that repeats. Okay. So garlic, we use a lot of garlic in our foods. So I already started garlic, and garlic takes a very long time to grow. That little bitty clove, that bulb, it takes a long time. Anybody want to guess how long this garlic it takes a while. It takes about 9 months. 9 months to grow garlic here in Massachusetts. You start it in the fall. You start it in the fall, and then you harvest it in the summer. All right. So if you're looking to start gardening and wondering what to grow in the garden, start with the foods that you eat and break it down just like this. So that's how you're gonna know what you can grow. When you break it down, like how I was able to identify what can I grow, is it quick? You could go to my page and see what I'm growing, or wherever you live, if you're trying to figure that out, is a quick Google search that you could say, okay, eggplant. Can I grow eggplant? Let's say, can I grow eggplant in Dubai? So then you see if there's information over there, your local information source would tell you, okay, yes, you could grow eggplant there, and then you take it from there. But also, I have a community that I'm developing that you could join in, and I'll teach you this every week. We'll help you break it down, make it very simple for you to start growing food this year. So I hope you learned something. Let me know in the chat if you learned gardening and you're about to start gardening. And if you are gardening for the first time, I want you to put a 1. So 1 for new beginners. Okay. If you're a beginner, put a 1 in the chat. If you did like 1 or 1 to 2 seasons of growing food, whether it was indoors or outdoors, you put 2 in the chat. If you grow and you knew all the methods that I went through and showed you, you could put a 3 in the chat. You're a master gardener. You are a master food gardener. All right. You know how to grow food. So let me know. And I hope you learned something. If you make sure you go to my page and subscribe, and I'll be sharing a lot of motivation to get you thinking about growing food. And when you're ready, and when I have my product ready, I'll come out here live to share with you how you could join, and then let you start growing. And we're gonna have in that community, we're gonna have a party master classes every week. I'm gonna be teaching you guys the whole year how to grow your own food, help you solve problems, help you stop scrolling and trying to search for the problems. I'll be your guide, and when the community will be people that will be helping each other from around the world to be able to grow food. Okay, so I hope you like this, and I'm gonna sign out here by telling you, all right, make sure you grow one thing that you could eat. All right, growing food is very important. Food is life, right? We all need to do this skill. It doesn't matter where you are in life, you could still start. We went over all the methods. There's about 7 methods that you could do, and I practice it, and you see it sprinkle out on my content, on my page, in my videos. So yes, you could grow food no matter where you live on this earth, and I would love to see you growing food soon. If you have any questions, make sure to go on any of my videos and ask the questions. I'll make sure to do a video to answer you. Once again, I want to say thank you for being here on live, and I'll see you next time. Maybe I could do this like a lunch break thing. So around lunchtime, I'll come on and have lunch with you guys and educate you guys on growing food. All right. Thank you. Make sure you share and let anybody that wants to learn about growing food to come to my page and join me in this journey and start no matter what you're facing in life. If you're busy, if you need help, don't know where to start, I'm your person. If And my name is Sophia Hames, your food garden educator. I'll see you next time.